What about that incentive? Well, first I wanted to ask you, what about, do your companies, you think, do enough training? And what does that look like? I mean, not just training, just for your job, but kind of, do they do, trainings at interval times to kind of, because they want to, obviously, they want to keep you at the company, but also kind of, show you how to move ahead and that kind of thing. So is training, do your companies do enough in that regard?
I think there's always room for more. I come from, it's not a small management company by any means. We have about 42 hotels right now, but everyone ends up getting stretched pretty thin as, we acquire new hotels and so on, that a lot of the time you really have to be the one that takes the initiative to ask for the training or help set up the time for the training and all of that, because a lot of people tend to get they prioritize the guests or the clients over their own team.
Their own team, yeah.
So it has to be a balance of wanting more as well as, asking for it, and then having a team that is willing to make time for it.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else?
I would say we do quite a bit of training. We do, every manager does a development plan, and each year they're expected to have some sort of personal growth, and then we evaluate what personal growth that is at the end of the year. In addition, we have a mentor program, so each manager is partnered with a senior manager to further develop themselves, and they can meet as often or as little as they like. And then we do monthly manager training sessions. So, for example, and it's not necessarily related to the work. Our last one was about gratitude, and how do you find thankfulness or gratefulness in everyday work. And so, I feel like, to your point, you could always do more. We always want to do more, but I think that we really try to get it out there.
Get it out there.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Everyone pretty satisfied with the training at their companies? Brianna?
Well, I'm the entrepreneur here who was the crazy one, so the perspective is much different because we are a small organization.
Mm-hmm.
Most of our assets are in secondary, tertiary markets, and we are looking for individuals that are very entrepreneurial with their ability to be proactive versus reactive because of the size and the resources that we have as an organization, similar to what First Hospitality or Hostmark has, that fire in the belly goes a long way when you're looking to do more in your life from a perspective of helping others and servicing others, rather than just looking at it from a perspective of what kind of package you're getting financially.
Right.
Because I think that's what sustains any individual in an operationally intensive business like that we're in. Because you can easily get burned out if you aren't motivated outside of the financial package. For us as an organization, we have the platform to provide the resources, but we're looking for individuals that are very proactive to go out there and learn on their own and seek those opportunities.
Do you guys all feel incentivized, though? I mean, as employees, that there's a reason you're doing these things, that whether it's a financial inducement or whatever it may be, but that you can, talk about it. You guys all learned about probably Maslow's hierarchy, right? So kind of self-fulfillment right at the top. So do you guys get that out of your organizations, that they're trying to cultivate that?
I do think so, and I think especially, with resources available online, one thing that I personally really love about our company is that people are really encouraged. No one really ever says, no, you can't pursue this learning opportunity.
Right.
But I think it's also about cultivating an ongoing culture of constant education. So, I have people from individuals I work with on property to, the very top levels of management who send me articles or, webinars or different resources all the time saying, this looks like it'd be really interesting for you. I learned a lot from this. So I think that, there's two ways to look at education. I think it's great when companies encourage people to really, take those bigger steps. But I think it's also kind of what we're all saying here is finding the right people, finding people who want to constantly learn and who aren't going to necessarily wait for a class or a very specific training.
Like you're
They're
saying,
just
being proactive.
breathing it and living it every day.
Yeah.
So.
When you're really invested in your work, I found that it's really amazing what could really motivate you to do better.
Yeah.
One of the things for me I just realized was how well guest interaction feedback resonates with me. I have days, this being the busiest season, of course, where it's just so hectic, but hearing back from some of my guests or my manager saying, this guest really spoke well of you and how you treated them,
Yeah.
it can really fuel that fire.
Right.
So, yeah, if you're really invested, it's amazing the kind of things in your environment that could motivate you to
Yeah,
do the work
it's
better.
great to get direct feedback from guests. I mean, that must feel really good when you do an exceptional job, and then you have a guest actually reaching out to maybe your manager and giving you a pat on the back.
Yeah.
Must be nice. I never got one of those, so that's nice. Well, we talk about this. I'd love to hear just kind of what your. We touched a little bit about it earlier, but and you can all kind of chime in here. I mean, what drew you to the industry in the first place? I mean, it wasn't probably. Did you? Your father was already in the industry. I'm sure that had some impact on you wanting to follow in his footsteps. But was there any kind of moment where you're like, this is kind of the career. This is what I want to make a career out of hospitality. Is there an anecdote? Do you guys is there something you can kind of point to when that kind of went off for you?
Sure, I can speak first. My family did not travel growing up. I went on 2 vacations before I was 18, and that was it. So I think the second vacation, we were in Poland as a family, and just the hotels we were staying at, the places we were seeing, and the fact that it was my first time in a different country, I think that's where I was like, okay, that's saying like find what you love and then make a career out of it. So that's pretty much where I came from. We spent our summers camping, and now I think camping is in a hotel. So that's pretty much I'll never leave this industry.
Yeah. Anyone else on this side?
For me, I actually started, and my degree was in accounting, and it was just one day out of nowhere. I was sitting in one of the law classes, and I was like, what the heck am I doing? This is awful. This is boring. I want a challenge. And one of my friends was actually in the intro to hospitality class, and they're like, why don't you like come sit in the class, like check it out. And I just sat in the class. I was like, this is the challenge that I want. This is like every day it's different. I cannot stand sitting at a desk for 8 hours or even 2 hours a day. I'm always on the move and like running around, and it was just like, this is like the perfect thing.
So debits and credits weren't enough challenge.
And I agree. It was that first hospitality class with Dr. J, and her energy and just her enthusiasm about the industry. I really think it was her and the faculty more than the actual subject matter, because like you, I didn't know what I wanted to do in hospitality. I just knew that something about it drew me to it, and ended up what it is.